All right, we should be live. I think I'm not very good at these live things still, man. You gotta give me time to get adjusted. So everybody, this is Jared with Housefolios. A lot of you know it as Paul's Deal Analyzer because that's what I named it, the domain. But it's Housefolios. So Jared is here today to show us all the fancy stuff it does because he knows a lot more than I do about it. So,
Yeah,
Jared, give us a little
you,
history about Housefolios if you want. If you want to tell us about the company
yeah.
stuff in general.
So, so Housefolios was made by real estate investors who were out there trying to get deals and find deals and analyze them quickly enough to compete with kind of some of the bigger banks and people that are out there in the space. And we connected up with Paul not that long ago, actually, at the beginning of this year, and it's been a great partnership so far. He's um, connected us to a lot of people and actually helped us to simplify our wholesale calculator. If you know Paul, you know he's got a real good mind for this. So we made it real simple, real easy. I'm going to walk you through putting a deal or two in today, just so you can kind of see what those look like. And then at the end of it, you should see how easy it is. And if you've been in-house, if you've logged into the deal analyzer recently, you'll see something, and we'll kind of go through and announce how that all works at the end of it as well. So, but yeah, I'm just excited to be here. There's something cool about working with people you like and admire, and Paul's definitely one of those people. He's just like a real, authentic person. So everybody around the office here loves him. So we're excited to be on this live event with you here.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Well, if you want to share your screen, we can get straight into it and not waste people's time so we can all get back to the good stuff of life, like
There
cheeseburgers
you
and stuff.
go. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
there you
Can you
go.
see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just kind of handpicked a couple deals that I want to go through with you guys here. This is what the deal analyzer looks like when you show up on this page. And a little spoiler alert there at the top. That's what we're going to go through the JV deals. We'll talk about that at the end. But you can go in here and watch a video about that as well. But this is what it looks like when you go in, and it really is as simple as once you find a deal that you're interested in looking at, you just got to click this green button or that green button. Either will take you to a place where you can add a property. All you need is the address. You'll notice once you start filling in, Google is going to put in, and it'll start close to your house, but it can put in any address in the country and it'll find anything for you. And then you'll decide inside of the deal analyzer, you'll decide your portfolio to put it in, and most you'll just have the one, and you'll be analyzing it for wholesale. So I've set aside a couple deals here real quick that we can look at. So this one is in Kansas City, Missouri. And again, if you've watched Paul's videos, you see this doesn't have to be in your backyard. Sometimes that's where you're most familiar with, but you do deals everywhere, right, Paul?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you happen to be. It's just you. And the nice thing about Housefolio is you can search for stuff all over the country and find it. So this particular deal is for sale right now for $21,000. I think we'd actually just put this one under contract the other day. And you can see that when all I did was put this address in, I already know that preliminary results are going to show me that this is a great wholesale deal. So I can click here on the wholesale details, and it's just real simple. The net profit from this deal is going to get me about $15,000 in an assignment fee. The buyer that I'm going to sell it to is going to make $30,000, so he's pretty happy. And the only thing I have to do is kind of go through and verify some of this information. So the first thing is the purchase price. Well, I've talked to the seller or their agent or whoever I'm dealing with, and I know that this is for sale for $21,000, and it needs a little bit of work. I've been able to analyze and see what needs to be done, so I know how to estimate that rehab. Paul has some great videos on that. And then what I was able to do right here in Housefolios is I was able to run some comps. So I come over here to the left into the comps section. Blue Housefolios logo here is my subject property. The black ones are my comps. So if I scroll down here, I can see all these comps. Well, my first comp's 137. Well, that's looking pretty good for a deal that I'm going to get for 21,000. 107.65. That brings me down to earth a little bit. I've got an $84,000 one here, but all these are looking pretty good and they're going to look good to my cash buyer when I come back. And I was able to run those comps. If I don't get enough comps or I'm not sure about those, then I've got a bunch of these. Now this one, the reason why it's not a comp or didn't get pulled in up top is because it's over a mile away. And my original comp criteria says just take stuff within a mile. But if I need a few more things for my guys, then or for my cash buyer, is more interested in this, I can provide him some more detail. But we can see even outside the mile radius, it's looking good that my cash buyer is going to be able to rehab and still get his money out. Now, if I come back to my wholesale calculator, the only other thing I have to do is now I want to come in here and I'm always, optimism is great and we love optimism, but in terms of our cash buyers, we want to give them the best deal that we can. So our adjusted comp average for this is 102,000, but that's not the number we're going to use. We're going to use our 3 lowest comps, and this is something that Paul taught us when we got started. And that gives us an ARV of 85,000. So that's what this house is going to be worth. And again, you can see I'm doing pretty good so far. I'm going to buy it for 21, or put it under contract rather. I'm going to sign that contract at 36,000. My threshold for my assignment fee is 10,000, but I'm actually going to make 15 on this. And when my buyer does his rehab, has his profit come out and pays closing costs, then he's going to be able to make some money as well. We can see he's going to make $31,000. I'm going to make my $15,000 assignment fee, and everybody's going to be happy. Paul's also provided a nice little checklist for you along the side. So now that I've verified all these numbers, I know this is a deal. But let's say I'm a new guy and I'm not exactly sure how to go about this, or I'm a little nervous. Paul has decided that he's going to help out. So right now you can do a JV with him, which means that instead of making 15,000, which you could make if you find a buyer, you're going to make 7,500. But Paul is going to look at your deal, make sure it really is a deal, and make sure that you have it under contract. And then he's going to help you find that cash buyer. The way he always explains it to me is, if it's a deal, I'm going to find a buyer. It's not a question if you can find a buyer. If it's really a deal, we're going to find a buyer. And so all you need to do is hit this little button, submit to Paul. It gives you a little confirmation now that your targets are green. Would you like to submit this property to Paul for a potential JV? You hit yes, it'll submit it. Paul will reach out to you through the alert mechanism here in the system and let you know that it's good. You'll sign a JV deal and he'll help you find that buyer. Anything else you want to say on that, Paul?
No, I mean, it's a pretty simple software once you get into it and click around some. It's as simple as you can possibly make it, I think.
Yeah, we've just tried to simplify it as much as possible, and these JV deals are going to make it. Now, right now, Paul's only accepting these JV deals inside of the deal analyzer, inside of Housefolios. So if this is something that you want to do, you get with him. For right now, we're going to let every tier do it, but we got quite a few come through just in the last few days. So we may actually make it so that only the larger plans will be able to do it. But that'll 100% just be a bandwidth thing for Paul. So want to make sure, but partnering with someone as experienced as him, there's never a downside to that. So let me just show you one other deal real quick. And this is, again, another one that we put under contract. This one's a little more nuanced. So I just want to show you what you're able to do. So this one's for sale for $39,900. We've contacted, they're willing to sell it for $39,900. And you can see that I've done a little bit of analysis already here. But one of the things that I've done in my initial analysis is this number right here tells me, hey, if you want to be green, the most you can pay is $32,493 for this place. If you pay that, the deal's going to work. If you have to pay more than that, and you can see they want $39,900, but that's where we negotiate. That's where we call the buyer and say, listen, this deal, based on everything I can tell in terms of the rehab, what it's going to sell for after being able to get somebody into it, the most I can pay for this is, and then that's where you negotiate, right? So we got this one under contract the other day too. We called the buyer and we said, hey, $31,000 is the most that we can pay for this deal. They said, great, we'll take it. A lot of times these guys are in a situation, and that's what, we're not taking advantage of anybody, but what we're doing is we're just leveling with them on what the deal is. We we're very close to finding a cash buyer on this. And then we also have some partners, obviously, in the whole ecosystem of software that are also flippers that may be interested in just taking this deal from us as well for an assignment fee. So we went through here. So even though up here it says $39.9, I can still come down here to the purchase price and make some adjustments. So I can say, and so let's say if we had gone in there and they said, hey, that's 31,000 is a little low for me, but if you can do 32, I'm in. Well, again, I know from here that I can probably afford to do 32, but maybe I'm going to have to take a little bit smaller. Well, actually, let me now put my resale price, or my assignment price rather, at 42,000. So I stay green here. I can still make my 10. My buyer can make their 15% because they're not going to have very much cash in. And then again, when I go through and run the comps on this, there's a good chance that they're going to be able to sell a fixed version of this house for more than 74,000. But if I look at the lowest three comps, so the worst case scenario, we think they can sell this for around 75. If they sell it for 99, they'll make a little more money. And that's okay. We're willing to spread that around. So don't be afraid. You can always mess with some of these numbers a little bit. Again, don't forget to watch Paul's video about estimating rehab. It's freakily accurate when you go in there. So just make sure that you're doing that, just so you're giving the person who you're gonna assign this to the best chance in terms of getting that all going. So all these can be changed. You'll see we'll get to various states. If you do want to submit a JV deal to Paul, just so you know, both of these have to be green. There's enough people coming at him all the time that if the deal's not even looking good inside the calculator, we're not even going to waste our time on it. Which again, that's a good thing to think about when you're going through and doing this kind of thing. Don't fall in love with a bad deal, right? Like if it's not a deal, then move on. No matter how good it looked from the aerial photos or how much you thought it was going to be, if the numbers don't work out, they just don't work out, and we move on. So yeah, and again, anything, as long as it's green. Now, if by chance one of these goes down, so let's say we leave this guy at 41,000, and so we don't get our profit. This only meets 50%. It'll tell you here when you try to submit it. In order to submit this property to Paul, it must meet all the targets. So you have to make the numbers have to work. If they don't work, then we can't. We're not going to be able to do the deal, and we're certainly not going to send it over to Paul. As much as he'd love to help everybody, I'm sure on here, at the end of the day, there's just so many deals coming in, and we want to make sure that we're focusing on the best ones. So, and yeah, of course, if you have any questions, I want to just make sure you're using the software. The best, smartest person at this company is underneath that orange bubble. This is Emma. She can help you to do this. We also have people that will walk you through and help you with the software. Like I said, we're very excited about our partnership with Paul, and so we want to make sure that everybody that comes in through his portal is comfortable using it and is successful and can make money with real estate. So
very good.
All
man.
right. Anything else you want to see in here?
Yeah, I was going to say, can you show them all the different analyzers so that, if they don't do wholesaling forever, because wholesaling is kind of the first step into real estate. Eventually, most people want to move on to fix and flips and get a portfolio.
Yeah.
Can you show them how the software kind of grows with you as you grow if you want?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you. So inside of your organization, so over here to the side, there's a settings, and then there's organization settings, assumption settings, team, marketplace, and billing. And so there's a lot of kind of cool stuff in there. But I'm going to click on organization preferences. When I come in here, most of you, when you come in here, what you're going to see is, I'll just click out of these just so you can kind of see what it looks like. You're just going to see wholesale. But then when you click in here, you can add a buy and hold, a fix and flip, a BRRRR. If you're familiar with a BRRRR, it's basically buying and holding a property, but then refinancing the equity out of it to use toward another property. And all of these things can be added here and turned on. So again, we don't want you drinking from a fire hose too quickly. Wholesale is where you start. But if you feel like, hey, maybe instead of giving that $15,000 or $20,000 to the flipper, maybe I'm ready to take on a flip myself. And so you can kind of turn on that flip and then it will analyze. As soon as you're analyzing properties for a flip, what you're going to see is you're going to see an additional card inside of your properties that I think this is the one that you did. You're going to see some additional cards inside your properties. They'll look like this. So you'll see a buy and hold, a fix and flip, a BRRRR, a short-term rental, even build to rent. We have a build to rent, which is I don't even want to try to explain that on this, but there's a bunch of different real estate investment strategies that you can use. But I can see, based on my initial assessment, this isn't a great buy and hold. This isn't a great property that I might want to hold on to and rent out, because it's just going to be hard to get my money back. But, oh man, it looks like a great flip. And it looks like a great wholesale. And potentially, if I can verify how good short-term rentals are in this market, it looks like it's a good short-term rental. So don't be afraid to look at those. And again, your best friend is right. He's awesome. She can help you to understand this stuff. We have a lot of great training videos and articles that will help you understand how to get into this space. And yeah, so once you get bold, get in there to your organization settings and analyzing for different strategies.
Awesome. Can you? Someone asked if there's a yearly plan for the deal analyzer, like a discount if they paid for annual.
Yeah, great point. Most of our annual plans have around a 20% discount. So it's basically like you pay for 10 months and you get 2 months free. Those are our favorite customers too. We love people that are kind of committed. Sometimes in this business, if you dip your toe in, you're basically saying you don't want to do it. So we love people that are kind of committed right out of the gate, because I think it forces you to act, right?
Yes, sir. And a couple of questions I've seen on TikTok is the pricing. What's the difference between the packages and how much, if you don't care to kind of give a breakdown of those?
So we've got 3 plans right now. There's a $29, a $99, and a $249. And again, if I can just be a little candid here for a minute, the $29 plan really is a toe dip in strategy. You can analyze 50 properties, but anybody who's analyzed real estate deals will tell you you're going to analyze at least that many to find a good one. So the nice thing about using the deal analyzer is you can analyze a lot of deals quickly. It pushes you through them, and you can reject them or accept them pretty quickly and kind of take a deeper dive. But that $99 plan is probably our most popular for people that are really serious. That's called our growth plan. Again, you get a 10%, about a 20% discount. You get 2 months free, basically, if you sign up for the entire year on that plan. And that will allow you to analyze 250 properties a month. That'll get you 1 or 2 deals a month, which I think is, if I remember watching Paul's videos, that's kind of a great place to get started, is just do a couple deals a month. And, you know, with assignment fees, even with the JV, you can start bringing in $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, just working hard at it, right? So that plan's around $99 a month, $79 on average if you pay for the whole year up front.
Awesome. Someone wants to know if you can upgrade, right, I guess, in the middle. So say you start 29, you want to upgrade a few days into
Absolutely. Yep, you can upgrade at any point. And in fairness too, you can downgrade your plan as well. We don't love it when people do that, but we want to make sure that we're doing what you need. Sometimes you kind of get a few deals going and you're working hard. Maybe you don't need as many analysis, so you can slow it down for a month. But yeah, you can go up and down as much as you like.
I'm trying to see if there's any other questions about the decent stuff. That's the only questions I'm seeing right now that's pertain to that, not just wholesaling question. Awesome.
All right, there you go. Well, that's a lot of questions. Good job, guys. That's good.
Yeah, I was trying to answer them as I was going while you was talking, but between TikTok and then on here. Yeah, I'll upload the vid on YouTube after we're done. I'll throw it on my YouTube so people can go back and watch it. But ask any questions you have for Jared since he's here. And here, Jared, maybe you'll know this answer because I'll throw it up here in the. Is it similar to Propstream? As far as I know, Propstream don't have anything like this that I know of. I mean, I don't get in Propstream a lot, but
Yeah, so I was gonna say I think Propstream is mostly for sourcing, so you can find deals there, but determining if that's a good wholesale, I don't really think they have a great setup for that. Um, but I do think that there's a lot of different tools out there, and it's cool that the real estate industry is heading this way. And one of the things that we wanted to do, especially for this kind of audience, is rather than most of it is really drinking from a fire hose. There's just so much stuff and there's so much training that you have to go through. What we try to do is keep it super, super simple and match Paul's system. So we partner with someone like Paul and then we deliver exactly what he wants. I always say when we're making software, what we try to do is it's like so showing someone a picture of their own kids, right? Aren't these kids cute? Well, yeah, of course they're cute. They're my kids, right? So it's exactly what they're expecting to look at, and nothing more, nothing less. We want to get everything that they need to quickly analyze a good deal. So
yeah, the biggest thing I can tell anybody about wholesaling is simplicity. I've seen a lot of people spend months and try to overcomplicate it, and then I tell them how to do it and just stick to the simplicity. Simplicity wins in this. It's as simple as I make it sound. Easy and simple is not the same. People don't understand that. You have to actually put in the effort every day. But if you stick to it, you keep it simple, pick a strategy, and just keep doing it. It's a numbers game. It'll pay out. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, they're like me when it comes like a diet. I'm about as consistent as 8 hours if I'm lucky. So I'm consistent until my pregnant wife eats something in front of me, and I'm like, there's always tomorrow to start. But
that's it.
someone wants to know. I'll just throw it up here so you can look at the question because it's a longer one.
Other sites newer, and then I just add any others out there to populate. Yeah, it's a great question. So we pay around 25 grand a month for access to First American data. So First American Title, if you're unfamiliar, is the large title company in the United States. They have data on virtually every property. That's where most of our base information comes from. And so comps are all going to be based on a little bit based on the area. So we should have sales information for most everywhere. Now, some of you who are a little more experienced know, like Texas, for example, you don't have to say in Texas how much you're selling a property for. So it's a little interesting to try to navigate. You can, but they don't have to say it. So sometimes it's harder to find comps there. But I would say most areas we're going to have the latest information about everything. And if you end up with too many comps, like which seems like a crazy thing, but I've analyzed there's some properties in more populous areas, you might return 50 comps, and that might be too much. So what I do in that case is instead of taking anything that's sold within a year, I take what's sold within 6 months. So same thing the other way. I can take, if I have a smaller area that's less populated, I can look at things that have sold in the last 18 months. Now, of course, the problem, again, if you're familiar with this, is sometimes what something sold for 18 months ago is not what it'll sell for today. So you do always have to be a little bit careful. But again, that's why you always want to, software is kind of get you to one point. And that's why if these deals are good, it's such a great opportunity and resource for everybody on this call to just JV with Paul, because he's going to be honest with you. He's not going to waste his time on a bad deal. So if he looks at it and says, hey, there's just not enough comps in this area to really know how this is going to do. So I think let's move on. So that's just something you want to keep in mind.
Would Emma be here? Let me just.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that question come through. Yeah, of course. Like she can walk you through changing those comp parameters too. Here's another interesting one that comes up. So technically, when we're talking about comps, right? We take the year built and we add 10 years to the front and the back. So if something's built in say 1930, we say, okay, I'm going to consider it a comp if it's anywhere between 1920 and 1940. So, but sometimes you have areas where in 1920, 1940, there was nothing in that area, right? It was one house in the middle of a huge farm, and then 30 years later, they sold the land around it. So again, with the parameters, you can go in and tweak those up a little bit. So Emma can walk you through how to do that. It's very simple inside the software, and you can do it per deal. So you don't have to So let's say you're looking at a handful of deals and just one of them is tricky. You can just go tweak those parameters for that one deal and then leave them as normal. I would say just real quick too, to kind of dovetail off that other statement about Propstream. One of I think our biggest advantages is you don't have to key in the information for every deal every time. It stores your preferences right in there, so we know exactly where you want to be on a deal, and then you can just run a bunch of deals through that filter rather than having to key in the numbers every time, which I think is a big time saver.
Yes. See if anybody can see if there's any more questions. Anybody got anything else? This wasn't going to be a very long live because I knew going through the software wasn't going to take really long. It's pretty simple.
We made it. We made it too simple, Paul. So but that's the beauty of it, right? Somebody just asked that. Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, absolutely. You can go in and you can upgrade your plan, like Paul said. You can upgrade to a bigger plan, and we'll prorate it for the next month for you. Or you can just there's bonus properties available. So
one more question. How often does comps not show up on the software?
I would say that 95% of the time we'll get some comps on everything. Sometimes it's hard to find three depending on the area, and sometimes there won't be any, but usually that's just a question of tweaking your parameters a little bit. Like I mentioned, one of the most popular ones I've seen lately is we'll be in like areas like back east where it's like what year was this house built? It's like 1860. It's like, yeah, there's not a whole lot that was built. And a lot of times what they'll do, you'll see in real estate circles, is they'll go remodel an 1860 house in like 1940, and then they change it to 1940. So even though it really was an 1860 house, they make it a 1940. So again, we can guide you through that for the most part and have people come in and say, oh, okay, this is exactly what this should look like, right? Is you just pull that year out ahead a little bit, put yourself in 1950, 1960, and then you're going to find some comps in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I have a video that explains all that, what to extend first if you can't find comps, radius.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a video explaining step one, if you don't have comps, do this. Step two, do this. And two, eventually you get at least one comp. Um, so if you want, it might be, you guys may have uploaded it inside the system, I believe. But if not, it's on my YouTube.
We'll highlight that on our system as well, and you can find it on Paul's YouTube. But that's like most of these. Yeah, that's a great point too. So many of these questions, as you can imagine, Paul, as he's been wholesaling, he's come across, and he's got a cool little video that teaches you exactly. Just hold your hand all the way through it. So,
Someone once says this one. I've noticed sometimes when I search for comps, the same address will show up 3 times.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Sometimes we do see that a little bit, and again, because of the title data, it's because it was recorded multiple times, or it was recorded multiple times in a short amount of time. But the system should be filtering those pretty well. So
I had 2 people ask this question, one on TikTok and this one. So can you kind of just do a summarize real quick?
yeah, you bet. No, Housefolios and Paul's deal analyzer specifically is just a quick calculator for using publicly available data that we contract and pull into the system to really quickly tell you if something's a good deal or not. It allows you to run comps, take a few of Paul's main criteria to understand what a deal looks like, and decide if it's a good wholesale deal or not in just a few minutes. So if you go in there and also if you go to paulsdealanalyzer.com, there's a 3-day free trial, so you can mess around with it. You can contact Emma. She'll get you on a demo with somebody as well if you need more information. But certainly something that we can help you with. But it's a very, very simple version. If you've ever watched Paul's videos and wondered how he does some of his calculating, he basically shared all the calculations with us. We turned it into a little piece of software for wholesale evaluation, and that's what you're looking at.
Awesome, thank you. Let's see. Any more questions about the software? I'm a cool cat. I try to be.
Paul is a cool cat.
My wife trying to get me to cut my hair. She's like, "You need a haircut." I'm like, "I don't know. I don't think I
It's
need
part
no
of the
more."
brand. You got to be careful about messing with it.
I know, right? Oh, ask away if you got any questions for the expert of the software, Jared. Nope, I ain't seen nothing. You have anything else you want to add? If not, we can wrap this up. And I think it was a good one.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of people that are on the live here already sign up. So appreciate that. We're excited to start working with you guys.
I can answer this one. So, yes, you can wholesale mobile homes. I do a lot of them. Uh, Bob Ross. It used to be one of my TikTok names, Bob Ross of Real Estate. My name is Bird, man. Billy, I've been a natural Chia pet for 37 years, buddy. I used to get asked that all the time. I don't know how many of you ever watched Friday the movie, but you remember Big Worm, Big Perm, and the ice cream truck? I used to get called that too. They're like, "What up, Big Perm?" I mean, Big Worm. Yeah, I've heard them all. How much does it cost? There's a $29 option, what, 99, and I don't know.
And $249.
And $249.
And the difference between the plans is how many properties you can analyze per month.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's all spelled out. If you go to paulsdealanalyzer.com, you can see the difference between the plans. I'll put in one last plug for the growth plan. I think if you really are serious and you're wanting to give this a try, getting that growth plan will give you enough property evaluations to really be able to find a couple good deals, and then submit those JV deals to Paul, and you're going to be well on your way to being successful as a wholesaler.
You froze. Your screen froze, Jared, on our end, or at least my end.
Could you still hear me?
Oh yeah, we heard you. You just
okay.
You're making a weird face. It's all good. Someone wants to know, can you use this for vacant lots in the future? Yeah, you can pull data with vacant lots, can't you? I mean, it's.
Yep. Yeah, there's lots sprinkled in. You'll find lots sprinkled into some of your comps and stuff, and you just have to kill those. But like you can eliminate a comp. So you see a comp come through for a vacant lot, you can just delete it from your comp list. But yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Someone says after a silent growth plan was the direct next step. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's a great question. So the next step is just to start putting in some addresses. So you'll notice you've got access to a property search, so you can search through different areas there and pull properties. Those are mostly going to be properties that are listed. In this market, I'm going to tell you there's probably not a lot of great wholesale deals in real estate listing, but there's also not zero. So if you put in the time, you can probably find some wholesale deals in there. But then the other thing that you can do is just put in addresses from anywhere. So if you've got a list of properties from somewhere, or you're just driving around in a particular area, kind of a distressed area, something like that, you can just put in addresses right there on the fly just from your phone. So the next step is to start analyzing, because what you're looking for is a deal that checks those boxes and gets you those greens. If you have a question as you start analyzing, or you don't remember some of the stuff that we looked at, Paul's going to put this on YouTube so you can take a look at it after. But also, again, don't be afraid to work with our people. We're anxious to make people comfortable and feel good with the software. So.
Yep. Someone wants to know the team members, add-on team members. What's that mean?
Yeah. So on the main plan, on the investor plan, on the basic plan, it's just you. You're just basically signing up for yourself. On a growth plan, you can actually add 5 more people. So if you have 1 or 2 people that you're going to work with in the beginning, up to 5 people, you can add them. They're all going to see the exact same thing that you are. So you can all go find properties together. You can assign each other different areas. So that's what the team members are. It's just more people that can use the same account.
Oh. I'm trying to see if there's anything else about the software.
Somebody said they couldn't find the site. It's just paulsdealanalyzer.com, right?
Yeah, I put it on there. There it is.
Okay.
Once we submit
Yeah, and
it.
I just got it, made sure that came up. So
On the JV stuff, do they get emailed or how's it work if I accept or decline it so they know?
yep. So they're going to get an email, and they're also going to get a notification right there inside the system. So there's two ways that they're going to see that.
Gotcha. Rhonda was asking, and I wasn't sure because this is all new. So,
Yeah, this JV stuff we've just launched in the past couple days, and so yeah, just don't be afraid to kind of jump in on those JV deals. Once you find them, you can submit them and get those. But this is a kind of a new thing for us, especially right now. If you're on an investor plan, we're letting you send those through. When that number gets bigger, just for Paul's sanity, we might have to make it so just the growth members and above can submit. But for right now, anybody can submit a JV deal. So
yep, we'll see how it goes and how many I can keep up with before we decide. Because I'm a one-man team.
Paul doesn't need any team members for his plan.
I try not to. I try to control everything. I have control issues when it comes to my wholesaling stuff. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Any more about the software or its features? Oh, someone. Is this a web-only program or does it have a phone app?
So right now it's web only. We're looking at an app creation. It'll probably be later in the year. And everybody that has a plan will be able to sign into the app. So it won't be any kind of new purchase you have to make or anything.
Nice. Well, I'm trying to see. Someone wants to know if they can input a bulk list that they've pulled.
Yep. So you can import properties. One of the ways that you do it is that when you go to hit the green button to add a property, one of the options is to upload a CSV. Now, keep in mind that's where how many properties you can analyze comes into play, right? So if you upload a spreadsheet of 150 properties and you have a growth plan, that's going to be 150 of your 250 properties for the month. Now, I'll tell you what, if you're on this, especially if you're on this, just tell Emma that Jared said you could. She can always reset those property limits for you as well. I didn't even think about this. Somebody asked this question earlier. So when you run out of properties, can you buy more? You can, but we like to take care of Paul's people. So if you do have a problem, just talk to support. What they can do is just add 50 more, 100 more properties for you or something. So don't hesitate to ask for that. We want to make sure that everybody can analyze as many as they need to find those deals. So
Awesome. I'm going to try to turn your screen off and turn it back on and see if you unfreeze real quick.
Oh, shoot.
No, you're still frozen.
Oh, Utah internet. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right.
Did my camera shut off?
It may be it. Maybe your I don't know. It's just froze. Okay. Someone said I'm not seeing a notification on the platform. Is it that at the top right corner, isn't it?
It's right underneath the masthead, and it says learn more. Has something. Let me show you here.
Everybody can see you but me. So it must be my stuff frozen inside of Restream Studio. So you're good.
Oh yeah, it might.
But me.
It might be Tennessee internet, not Utah internet.
It might be.
Okay, here. Let me share my screen again real quick, and I'll show you where you can find that thing about the JV. So right now, right here, it says Paul is now accepting JV deals. That means on the right deals, he can partner with you. So you click for details. There's one of Paul's awesome videos. It shows you how to send to Paul a JV deal, analyze your wholesale deal. If a deal's green, click submit to Paul, and you'll see this submit to Paul button throughout the site. And then when you come in to your properties and you click on this one, for example, you see this submit to Paul thing here. So there's one here, and there's also one inside. And don't forget, if everything's not green here, it's not going to let you submit. It'll give you a message that says, make it green before you send it over. So that's how that works.
Nice. Alrighty. Any other questions? Let's see. JV. I mean, yeah, JV's for anything long as this green ribbon. Tennessee whiskey. Oh, yeah, it'll be uploaded on YouTube later. As soon as we get off air and it downloads the recording. Alrighty. I don't think I see anything else. So.
All right.
That was good, man. Well, I appreciate you taking your time out on this nice Monday. It was supposed to be Friday, but I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. But I always have stuff coming up that I forget about.
That's what happens with kids. So, all right. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions, again, hit that green button. Paul and I are going to do a couple more of these live events so that people can see and we'll walk through. But yeah, thanks for joining. That was great.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
So notifications, there's a little bell up by your name at the top, but you also should receive an email. If for whatever reason you submitted a property, you don't get an email again, hit that green button down in the bottom right-hand corner and Emma can help investigate for you.
Everybody got that? Use Emma if you need help. Emma.
Yeah. Emma is the master helper.
Yeah, buddy. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for showing up on all the platforms, and we'll try to do this again in a month or so if there's more, keep everybody in the loop.
Okay. Awesome.
Right. See y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.